Okay, I am seriously so excited. We want to give a warm welcome to Abby. I don't think it's happen chance that I bumped into this lovely lady, digitally bumped into her. So basically last week I was just on Facebook kind of networking out, and I saw your profile picture and I was like, that is a dang cool picture. So I clicked on her and I saw that she was teaching. It was Google, right? Like they had a big conference and
Yeah.
teaching the employees there at Google. And so it was a really cool little snap you had on your page. So I reached out to her. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you get events like that? Like, that's incredible. And so we just started talking from there, and we hopped on the phone with each other. And I was originally going to have her just talk on health and wellness for my challengers. And I was like, oh my gosh, she is like a golden egg I stumbled upon. So I just wanted to jump on the opportunity to have her kind of just get in our female brains and help us and dig deep and figure out how we can do what we're doing better. So so a little bit about her, but Abby, you're gonna have to take the reins, because when we were talking on the phone, how do I, Melissa, how do I mute everyone?
Oh, it's okay. I know.
Go to the participants and then click mute all.
Thank you. Okay, that's better. It's hard to even think when it starts going crazy. Okay, so last year, Abby, did you start Sweat and Soul Yoga last year? Uh-oh, now she's on mute. How do I, Abby, can you unmute yourself? Oh, wait, I got it. Okay, go ahead, Abby.
Oh, was I muted?
Yeah, so start now.
I started, actually, that was a class that I created back in 2011 at the Centered City Yoga, where I taught full time. And it was just a class that I did that was with music and candles. And then it just started getting, a lot of people started coming to where I was getting around 40 to 50 people twice a week in that practice.
Wow.
And so it kind of just was a name that people knew by on the schedule. They'd go to my class. And then back in 2000, a couple of years later, I decided to try and brand a yoga studio. And I went through all of the steps to create a business. I wrote a business plan. I created a brand, like a symbol. I decided to name it Sweat and Soul because that name already had a meaning for me. And people already knew that it was attached to me. So I figured that was an easy way to just let people know, people to know that that's where I was, and if I created this yoga studio, they would know that that was me. So I started that. And then, can you guys see me that well?
Yeah, it's a little backlit, but we gotcha.
Okay. So So I wrote a business plan. It took a long time. And then I decided, to pursue the necessary steps to opening a studio, and it didn't quite work out for me, but I was led in a different direction, and I kept the brand and everything. I had got funded for the studio and everything. And last summer, 2015, wow, time flies. I got a phone call from Salt Lake City Chamber, and they awarded me with Entrepreneur of the Year with that business.
So cool.
Plan. So from that point on, I kind of kept that on the back burner because my life was kind of in a place of just flux. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. I didn't really necessarily feel like the studio was the right, direction for me to go in my life. So I went to Harmon's grocery stores. I was trying to get really, really, really creative about how I was going to teach without a studio. I wasn't working at Center City. And I taught these classes called Sweat and Soul on the roof of Harmon's.
Wow, that's awesome.
In the summertime. And then I did some classes at Liberty Park, and people just found out about it, and they started coming. And so that was really cool. That was a way that I got my name out to the community. And then just decided to put it away for a while. I didn't really do anything with it and just took care of my own. It took a lot of work to get where I was, and I was kind of exhausted because I didn't open the studio after all. And then as of recently, I just feel like I was in the right place to be able to pursue that again. And I'm just doing a whole different like direction with it. I'm doing an online platform, and I'm launching my website in the next couple weeks. And there's just pillars that I'm going to have. I'll have a blog. I'm starting a group called Women in Power. And I've just kind of shook hands with Natural Grocers in Salt Lake, and they're going to let me host all of my workshops there. And it's just going to be specifically for women. And the whole idea around it is to kind of support one another and create community and help those with ideas that don't know what to do, such as maybe you guys, to get out there and start your own businesses and hear inspiring stories from other women who have started businesses. It's also a way for me to it's kind of just been a dream for me, a way to give back to my community and to spotlight people that need the extra support and the extra help, especially because our world is fast and a lot of people kind of get overwhelmed by all that. And so then they just don't want to do it. So I'm going to start that in May, and then I'll have workshops with my friend Christina, who we're going to go to Snowbird once a month, and we're going to partner with them and we're going to teach yoga for athletes at the Cliff Lodge. And then another pillar is I am going to work with a woman named Michelle Butterfield, and we're going to do empowerment workshops once a month at my yoga studio that I work at right now. So I'm kind of just putting my energy in a few different things, but hopefully that's just going to build up my brand, but it's going to look differently than it was meant to look like in the beginning. So that's kind of the story behind Sweat and Soul.
That is so exciting and so in alignment with, I think, where a lot of our brains are at this point. Can I back you up to your business plan? Do you have some tips for us so basically all of us are running an online fitness business, and then we utilize Beachbody and their programs and stuff like that to help our customers just ongoing. But we all are CEOs of our own fitness brand, basically. And so I think as we kind of find feet in this digital world and get started, I think a business plan, I know I've written some or it's part of one, but could you give us some direction with that?
So what I did, I had no clue how to write a business plan. So I found people that did. So okay. I would recommend going to, are you guys in where are you guys?
I think a lot of us are in Salt Lake, but our whole team is across the nation and Canada too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what I would do, because they have free services in your local community, I know they do in Salt Lake City, and there's people that want to support people going into business, such as your guys. If you have questions or you want to start a business plan, that's what I did. I got right to work. I called the Women's Business Center in Salt Lake City, and I got an appointment, and I had a mentor, and her name is Deb Bilbao, and I owe her pretty much everything. So when it comes to my business plan and the direction it is in right now too, but she walked me through the steps of creating a business plan. There's lots of online templates you could use, but there are so many that I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend, if you do not know how to write a business plan, which is where I found somebody who I respected, who I felt could help me. And then what I did was they edited it for me. So I would go do some of it, and then I'd send it to her, and she'd be like, fix that or change that, or these are some suggestions. And I just did that for 600 hours until it was perfect.
Oh my gosh. So how do you feel like your business plan kind of drove your momentum?
Well, the plan is kind of just a roadmap, but I feel like things don't turn out as planned. So once I got it on paper and I saw what I had put together, it did motivate me to do something with it because I spent so much work and time on efforts on it. But the thing about business plans and I'm writing a blog on this right now, actually, but if you feel like you have to follow that, that could also be a way to fail, because that means you can't kind of step out of the box of your own plan and be open to like just the ebbs and flow of life and how, I don't know, you have to kind of be in an intuitive place too. So I don't know, like it just inspired me. It actually gave me confidence too, because I was like, wow, I just did this. I just wrote this amazing plan, and it just continued to drive me in the direction that I am. But I don't look at my plan that much. I just remember that time I took writing it and how committed I was to it. And I was really proud of it when I was done with it. But now it's something completely different. So I often have gone back and edited it, and there are times where I've completely just wanted to like not even look at it. And that's also an important part of the process, because you have to kind of walk away from something to be re-inspired. So
I think so too. Do you think, I mean, just that original writing of that, just getting your vision out there and having that vision to focus on, and then your vision changes as you grow and as you walk that journey, for sure.
I can be a bit grandiose. I will say that about myself. I'll be the first one to say it. I have so many things that I would do if I could. And so the plan reined me in. It also was it was helpful for me to see that I was taking action with it, like one page, one line, one paragraph at a time. And it was like, wow, if we like put action into something, like things can get done. You can do anything. So I think the plan is helpful to see that you could actually do a business. If you don't have a business plan, then I feel like it's easy to just be so overwhelmed. You don't have a plan, then you just don't do it.
Yeah, helps you break it down. Totally. Okay, and then you were mentioning something that just talking to you on the phone when you were like, you just told me you just got to keep getting yourself out there. Like that stuck with me so much. So thank you. And I heard you just saying that again, how you were doing your classes just anywhere and everywhere, up on Harmon's, out in the park. How did you share with people what you were doing? How did you get people to show up for those?
Funny, I had people that were just, it was weird. People came out of the woodwork for me during that time. It was not an easy time for me. So I had friends who saw what I was going through, and they're like, I'm going to make you a banner, and I'm going to put that up in the park. Cool. I'm going to help promote you. But what I did was just use social media. I would get on Facebook and be like, hey, this is where I am. And I would just, write a blurb about it. And sometimes one person would come, and then some days 8 people would come, but it slowly progressed. And you cannot give up. You have to teach that one person, or it doesn't matter. They're there for you. And the more consistent you are, you'll notice like overnight your business can grow. You have to be consistent. You have to be patient. It's not going to be instant gratification. It's going to be really, really, really hard work. So, and I shouldn't even feel like I should tell you, I don't even have a successful business right now. Like I'm still working on it, although I have created a successful name for myself in Salt Lake for the yoga community. I've worked really hard at that. So people come to me now and ask me to teach for them, which I'm lucky because I've just stayed at it for so many years. So.
Yeah. So when you did those classes, did you charge or was that free?
Donation. No, I didn't charge. I said it's donation. I put out a hat, and some days I would leave with $300. Some days I'd leave with 30. Someone gave me a guitar once. It's just many different ways people wanted to show their appreciation. But I wanted to do donation based because I wanted, honestly, if a homeless person was in the park and they wanted to take that yoga class, I would have been able to reach that audience, and that would have made me happy.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So, I feel like I saw and heard about Sweat and Soul Yoga like last year, and I'm not very big into the yoga community. What would you say is like just some branding tips for us? Because I mean, that stood out to me for sure.
I am really passionate about like branding, actually. It's like
Cool.
it's something that I get really excited about it, because I was like, you know what, if I'm going to create Sweat and Soul, then I have to have like a symbol, something that like I put a lot of my own self in, so I got together with a graphic designer who is my friend, and she knows me, and we sat down and I just did it until I thought that is me in a symbol. And now I don't really actually feel like I've changed over the years. So at that time in my life, it was a perfect symbol for Sweat and Soul. But now that I'm rebranding, it's going to be different, which I'm okay with. But now I can always look back at that and be like, that was really special, that first branding, like things changed. So as far as you guys branding goes, just create I would say make yourself your own audience. If you're your own audience, then you're going to get the right people to come to your business. So brand yourself based off of you being your audience. Your own colors, your own, I don't know, like you'd have to like play around with it. But I just like got on to like Pinterest, and I just like Googled so many images and symbols, and I finally found the right one for me, and I kind of knew the direction I wanted to go. Then I took it to the graphic designer, and she was like, awesome, I can do this with it. And then we just played around, kind of like I did with the business plan. I got somebody that knew how to do that, and then they helped me. So
mentors are just gold, as we've heard so often. That's great.
Well, I wouldn't be here without the people that have like taught me along the way. So like I said, those mentors were everything to me. Now I can mentor people, in that direction. So.
Well, that's awesome. That's kind of all the questions that I gathered just while you were talking. Does anyone have any questions that come to mind? You can unmute yourself and ask away. Anyone? Okay. I'm just going to ask you back to the business plan. If you could give us somewhere to start, just a road to start with, where would we start with that?
Well, get out a piece of paper.
Already done.
Get out a piece of paper and start brain dumping. You have to get all of the filler thoughts out of the way, then go back to it and find what you've connected to in that, and then create a grand picture. But I would say for now, like you want to have a full vision, but that's going to change. You want to really less is more, make it simple. If you still feel overwhelmed by that, I definitely would use your network. I would get online and be like, hey, I'm trying to create a business plan. Who out there can give me some tips? Because honestly, that's what I did. I used my own personal network and community that I was already plugged into, and people definitely want to help. So I try to do a lot of things on my own, but these are the things that I didn't know a lot about. But I would say just start brainstorming, just getting your thoughts out on paper. And if you could have be as grand as you want, exactly what you would want your business to look like, draw that out, and then just keep on, going back to it. And then you could look at online templates. If you guys want to, I'd be happy to send you guys an email of the template that I used.
That'd be awesome.
It's a really
gold.
Really, really good one.
Awesome.
So I would allow you to look at mine, but for me, it's so personal that I don't want anyone to steal it. But I can definitely give you the mock template of what I went off of for sure.
I think that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Cool. All right. Well, did anyone think of any questions in the last couple minutes? All right. I know you're a busy woman, Abby. Will you let us know on your workshops? I bet that you might get some of our team trickling in there as you start those next month. That would be so fun.
Yeah. Just so you guys know though, before I go, like it takes time for your business to develop. So if you get overwhelmed and frustrated, that's just normal. And it just be okay with not being attached to your own plan, but definitely put it out there what you want and write it out on paper. I could have never thought in a million years my business was turning into this. So I will definitely share with Audrey my business workshop schedule and all that for Sweat and Soul. But if you guys feel like you want to connect with me in any future, way, I'm happy to do this again or whatever. You can just you can holler my way and I'll.
Cool. Thank you so much. You are seriously amazing. Cool. All right.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Huh? I was just saying last call for any questions. I think we're good. Okay.
Well, thanks, guys. It was nice to meet you all.
Yeah. Okay, so Abby, I'll just message you my email, and you can send that to me. And then, Melissa, what were you saying?
I was just saying it was really nice of you to do this for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. This is why, I want to help you out. I would love to share any tips I have, but just keep doing one thing after the next. You have to take action. You can't get overwhelmed by the big picture. You have to pull out of it and do one step at a time, because it will literally come together. It's crazy how it will come together. Just one step, one day at a time. Do one thing every day towards your business or towards your business plan. Sometimes my goal was one paragraph a day, one line a day. And then 6 months later, I had a beautiful plan in front of me. So
it's a good roadmap. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Abby.
You're welcome.
Have an awesome day. Okay. Bye.
See ya.